Ticker symbol VIRI has essentially made its trek down to the targets that we were talking about just yesterday. I do, however, see a continuation to the target of the SMA 50. Let's go ahead and validate exactly what that means in the first place, right? What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with VIRI technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this Wednesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team, so this is VIRI on the daily chart here, and the reason why I'm bringing up this chart in particular is because we're getting very close to an inflection zone. Okay, so this inflection zone is consistent to this candle here. Closing a daily candle beneath the area of 128 would encourage price action to a continuation to the downside to particularly a temporary support of 110, followed by a touch of the $1 target. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you that I'm not sure that can actually happen though. First of all, daily time frame momentum. Please notice how we're increasing volatility here, right? Look at, we're increasing volatility. And we're also increasing the momentum. We're also, it's pivoting, right? So this is a good thing. That means that the shorter time frames are already potentially facing some correction. I guess it would be some correction on its momentum or on its trajectory, right? So that is what is kind of giving me that bias that we can face a short-term downside here and face a bounce from it, right? So another thing to kind of seal this very difficult actually support, it's going to be kind of hard to combat it, right? First of all, there is a gap here located at that inflection zone as well. Okay, so this is it does have a bit of weight to it, right? It has some nice support. Okay, so I can see the price action coming down to this inflection zone, which would be located at about 128. Actually, we can go just a little bit lower in respects to this wick here, right? So let's go ahead and see how exact we can take it, right? So something like this, right? Come on. Right there. Oh, man, it was so close to 127, right? So, yeah, there could be a very... there could be a nice bounce from that zone. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and continue validating here. Okay, so this is the target that we spoke of just yesterday. We spoke of the high likelihood of actually coming back down to test the Gaussian band, and we also noticed that the EMA 55 was located right at that 129 as well. Price action ended up coming down to a low of $1.30. Right, you can see on the L right up there when we hover over the candle. Yeah, $1.30. We were speaking of 129 yesterday, right? So we came back and tested that EMA 55. And another thing to remember here is that if we do start getting a bounce to the upside from the zone, that would encourage the continuation of the converging of these two moving averages, which is the orange line representing the 55 period exponential moving average, and the yellow line is representing the 21 period exponential. Both of these moving averages, when combined, or actually when you cross the shorter time frame over the larger time frame, that is consistent of something called a silver cross. We spoke about this yesterday. Okay, so that is historically a bullish cross as well, and price action usually tends to follow, right, or to be guided by those moving averages. So this is very good. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on the analysis and look at what else we have. Okay, so this is essentially the targets that we're looking at. Okay, let me get rid of this little line because it is not pertinent to the present moment. Right, so now, team, please notice that the SMA 50 is located where? Just about $1.27. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and, I'm not sure why it actually didn't move to the 127, right? So there we go. Okay, yeah, I guess it's just 127, 126 border, right? So this is rhyming with what we're talking about right down here, right? So 127 SMA 50 located in, it's very, very close to the inflection zone that we're talking about right down here, 128 to 129, right? And of course, if we were to face that downside to come to around 127 or 126, then we also have the support of the 3-day exponential moving average 21 period at about, let's go ahead and just see this here. It's now at about 122. Okay, so that could be 122 to around let's see, where is it? 122 to 127 could be the zone that we look at, right? So, and 122 is actually, let's see, wow, 122 is the very top side of this candle here, and you can see it on the H value up there, right? So when we hover over it, it says 122. So yes, that's great. Now we have a literally a tangible support. All right, so to the SMA 50, which in comparison to the SMA 50, because the moving average is a constant, right? As long as the price action exists and moves, the moving average will more than, of course, will certainly follow. Okay, so this is the support range that we're looking at for tomorrow. Okay, team, let's see if we can get that validated and then actually continue on to the upside based on this golden cross on the daily. Okay, so now for the last part of the analysis here, this is the RSI, right? So we are looking at a clean break of the 30-minute SMA 14, breaking upside of the SMA 14, suggesting a continuation to the upside. That's very nice. Okay, so now if we are looking at the 6-hour time frame, we are about to face some resistance. Okay, so what could that resistance be? So first of all, we're looking at a continuation to the upside for a very short amount of time before facing that resistance. Let me see the 4-hour. 4-hour is at the resistance. Bi-hourly is getting very close to that resistance too. Okay, so there could be a very short-term downside. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead and just go over all of those probabilities there. That short-term downside, of course, is the one that I'm speaking of here. Anywhere between the area of 126, 127, right, to about 122. All right, so now jumping in to the 8-hour RSI, we actually we have the RSI kind of correcting here. That's nice. And this is bleeding into the 12-hour, which is already corrective as well. Okay, so the more thrust we get from the shorter time frames, the bigger the cascading effect would be. Okay, so now looking at the maybe we got to look a little deeper here. Yeah, okay, so the weekly time frame is facing that support. We're very close to that. Okay, and this weekly time frame is also closing this Friday alongside the monthly, the bi-monthly, the quarterly, the semi-annual too. Okay, so macro closure is happening for ticker symbol VIRI. Okay, so if we were to see any of that in the present, let's try to do this. Let me get rid of some of that and load up the weekly time frame to see what we have as far as candles. And that looks like just a small pullback, like a normal pullback here. Let's go into the monthly time frame and see what it has too. Okay, so yeah, monthly time frame in a day and 20 hours, closing soon, looking not bad. A day and 21 hour, a day and 20 hours here for the bi-monthly as well. That is looking still pretty bullish, right? And let's see the quarterly. That is still looking massively bullish as well. And this is the semi-annual, right? Making just a huge green candle here in comparison to the one prior to this one, right? So everything is looking not bad. Okay, so please remember the targets that I'm talking about, team. I do think that we can actually get that very short-term upside, resist, and come back down to that zone we spoke of before, between 129 and 122, right, before getting a bounce to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that, right? The last thing we want to do is close any daily candle iteration below the area of 128. Please remember that, okay? We cannot close down there, or else there could be some downside to kind of factor into the probabilities here, okay, team? But please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.